barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to join Patreon. I dropped a hell of a jewel today on Patreon. It's only $5. Go ahead and join. It'll save you millions. I mean, I'm just being G with you. It'll save you millions of dollars over the course of your lifetime. Let's talk about Oscar De La Hoya. I haven't watched no videos. I intentionally haven't watched no videos. No, nothing. You guys know how I feel about Oscar and this thing. So everything I do on them will be negative. So if you don't like that, you don't have to listen to the rest of the video. I just had a disclaimer so you don't have to put the hate comments in the comment section. But obviously you will stay because you have nothing going on in your life, and you're a part-time homosexual and a full-time loner. So you will sit here and listen to this video and hate on me in the comment section. So Oscar De La Hoya said pay-per-view is dead. Now, I'm tired. I'm not tired. I'm fatigued. So I may not be as thorough as I want to be. I'm not even going to give myself credit. I'm going to go in on Oscar. I believe I have it together. I was sharing a text with Vince, and I had already saw the titles on my timeline. But I intentionally, when I say I haven't clicked a video on Canelo this week, in terms of his fights, nothing. I mean, nothing. I don't care if I know you. I'm not giving you a click. I'm just being as real as I could be. And I saw a title that said, Oscar De La Hoya said pay-per-view is dead. And I basically have validation. Now, I am the guy. I don't act like it at times, because I dress hip-hop and I speak in metaphors and I listen to hip-hop and I curse and I use the word nigga and, what I mean? I'm short in stature and sometimes I'm loud. But I listen to every word that comes across my ears. I internalize everything, and I have this gift where I can internalize it and see its reach in milliseconds, right? And when I saw this title earlier today, I was working, so I couldn't stop and do a 10 or 15 minute video. But when he said pay-per-view is dead, that's an admission of guilt. That's an admission of lies. We know he lied about T-Mobile being sold out for the Triple G fight. There were 4,000 to 6,000 tickets that weren't sold. So, and we know that was proven. But him saying pay-per-view is dead and Canelo's last fight was on pay-per-view is an admission that they didn't do the pay-per-view numbers that they said they did. Now, I'm just going to do quick math. I believe the Canelo fight was $100. If it wasn't, too bad. You guys figure it out on your own. But even if it wasn't, I'm going to use $100 just for the round numbers, okay? So let's say it was $100, right? I know it, but I'm going to do it in my head. Times a million pay-per-views. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That equals 1, 2, 3, comma 1, 2, 3. That equals $100 million, which we already know, right? I just wanted to be for sure. So that means they made minimum $100 million on each of these pay-per-views, right? Right. You got to pay the opponent. You got to pay the franchise that carries it, and we're not even going to talk about the international rights to cover this fight. We're just going to deal with America. They have a gross of $100 million, right? Now keep in mind, just either it was today or yesterday, it was sometime between yesterday and today, Oscar said pay-per-view is dead. If they made $100 million off of Canelo, which is 9 figures, which is astounding, and that's not counting the gate, that's not counting advertising, the hot dogs, the merchandising, the overseas rights, etc., 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 right? They have $100 million. Not even the site fee. I'm not even talking about the site fee. $100 million, right? If pay-per-view wasn't dead 3 months ago, why is it dead 3 months from now? And you have the biggest pay-per-view star. Oscar saying pay-per-view is dead. And this is why you guys come to my channel, because I get what people say. Sometimes I don't really have the energy to talk about it, but I analyze and I can break down. I don't know what it is. I've, maybe it becomes from because I read a lot of books and I go through. I in my 20s, I don't read as much as I do now with two kids and 14 jobs and a family to raise and Dre and so I don't have the time that I used to have, but that I had in my 20s to read and write and make that a consistent habit on a daily basis. But I internalized it in a millisecond. One, they lied about their pay-per-view numbers. Two, Oscar was at a point with Canelo where they were failing and they were in a negative leverage. And what I mean by negatively being leverage, meaning they had over, they had over, um, they have stretched Canelo beyond their own understanding, beyond their bank account, beyond their budget. And the reason why is because they're coming in asking for help. Now, if Canelo was the pay-per-view star that they said he was, they could have run their own pay-per-views. They could have ran it through goldenboy.com, goldenboypromotions.com, right? Everybody knows he's with Oscar De La Hoya, etc. All the Top Rank did it one time with Manny Pacquiao against Jesse Vargas, if I'm not mistaken, or either it was one of them fights. I covered the fight, so I'm uncertain of what fight it was, but they're lying about their numbers because if they made a base salary, a gross salary of $100 million, it's no way I go to the zone knowing they don't even have 1 million people to pull from. The zone don't even have 1 million people in America to pull from. I'll even go a step further. They don't have 1 million people in North America to pull from. There's not a lot of people that's going to buy in that for $10 when ESPN is $5 and we can get basketball and college football and everything is archived. And I don't know. I don't have any apps. Only app I have is Tidal. And I have the LDBC app. That's it. That's it. I got a Patreon app, YouTube app. You know what I mean? I just it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. A lot of people aren't going to get it. They just going to take it. Oh, pay-per-view is dead. Why is pay-per-view dead? Because it's not selling. Everyone's moving to the app. Oscar just told you he lied about all the numbers that he said about Canelo and the Triple G fight. Remember, Triple G's fight, the numbers, part 1 and part 2 was never disclosed. Never ever were they disclosed. And Oscar De La Hoya is a habitual liar. Dana White will agree with me on this. Oscar De La Hoya is an admitted cokehead. Oscar De La Hoya, I don't say a lot in terms of, the setting isn't conducive to me going in on Oscar, but every time I see Oscar, he's the only one that I've seen on a DS that can't stop snorting. Like, I grew up around drugs and alcohol, the sad truth or the real truth. Family members, distant and close, had some substance abuse problems. And every press conference I see Oscar in, his nose be moving. Like, and I see how they protect Oscar. He gets in and he gets out. And the reason why I believe he gets in and gets out of all his press conferences is because I believe, allegedly, make believe he comes in high. He comes in snort. His nose be moving for no reason. He's cold for no reason. He's fidgety for no reason. Watch Oscar. I haven't watched a press conference in Oscar in a long time. So I do my best not to click on anything Oscar if it's not being negative or anything like that. Or if I take that back, if I'm in search of something. But I haven't really been in search of anything this week because the fight is dead. And I know the fight has no buzz to it. Because, like I said, I haven't got no hate email or no hate DMs from no Mexicans that don't like me. And since I know that I'm not getting no hate comments, I know the fight ain't buzzing. So, but it's just, Him saying that, I'll repeat it again, is an admission that they have over leveraged Canelo. They didn't have the funds to protect him. They don't have the cash flow coming in to, more importantly, to put on an event. Because if they had the cash flow, they would put on the event themselves, just single-handedly. Because there's no way in hell, if I knew just putting a name on a bill, I can get $100 million, would I add another hand to go in the cookie jar? I want all the cookies to myself. You know, if there's 13 cookies in a cookie jar, I want all 13. I feel like I shouldn't have to split it with anyone. And so everything that Oscar has been saying about about Canelo has been a lie. 100% lie. And I'm going to tell you the flip side of this coin. Everyone was praising, and I didn't do a video on this at all, but it's time now that I make you preview to what's going to happen. The Zone is not making any money. Everybody knows the Zone is not making any money. Everyone knows the Zone is in the red. I don't believe they'll ever go into black. I'm gonna do this in a video. I'm gonna disprove that it's more expensive to sign up with the Zone than it is to buy a pay-per-view. I'm gonna explain that real quick. I'm gonna do that in a matter of fact. I'm gonna title that. I'm not gonna give it away in this video. I'm gonna title it, and I'm gonna make you guys understand the real truth. So, where was I? About how they're gonna have to leverage Canelo after this fight. Tickets are not moving. Tickets are not moving. I got a DM on that today. That tickets are not moving. Someone sent me a link, and they sent me a message. I haven't clicked on the link yet, but I appreciate them sending it to me. But they just basically overviewed it to me. Tickets are not moving on the Canelo fight. I don't know. I haven't checked yet. So that's allegedly, right? Let's say he's favored to beat him. So we're gonna say that he beats him, right? I don't even have no energy to root against Canelo. So if you guys say I'm rooting, I personally don't care. I'm not giving this fight no energy, nothing, right? Now, part two to that, they got to recoup funds. And I know without a doubt his contract is incentive-based. The reason why I know his contract is incentive-based is because you have all these media outlets pushing people to join the 30-day trial. If everything... It's like a pyramid scheme. If they're telling you to join their 30-day trial, they're getting a kickback from it. All right, it's just plain and simple. It's easy, right? You're no dummy, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's business. So I'm just laying it out, right? Now, if they're getting a kickback from that, don't you think Canelo has an incentive-based contract? Think about that for a second. Just being pragmatic, right? His incentives may be different, but it may be a different tactic, but it's the same thing. He's trying to get you to join the Zone, and he gets a piece of it. The same way these media outlets get through it, goes through it, is the same way it goes for Canelo. Now, all they're gonna do is get their own auditor, right? What every good businessman would do. It's nothing wrong with what the Zone is gonna do. They're gonna get their own auditor because they know you are not gonna afford. I'm talking to the media outlets and maybe Canelo. They're gonna get their own auditor, and they're gonna audit it, and you're gonna come back and say, "Oh, we didn't move that many." It's gonna undershow what the actual numbers are, so they can keep most of the profits. It's just the reality of the deal. It ain't nothing. It's not nothing new. It's just business 101, right? Business is very cutthroat on any level, whether you're slanging crack or whether you're slanging subscriptions to an app. It's all relative. But moreover than that, it's proof that his contract is incentive-based. He's going to be a slave to that contract. And what I mean by a slave, he's going to have to fight some dogs. And how he is going to fight some dogs, I hate to say this because this is going to help the Zone. And I don't care about helping the Zone. I just don't like the two-headed monster that they have Oscar and Eddie. I think that they're for different reasons, but I just don't like them. And two, he's gonna have to fight the Charlos, everybody, to make an impression on the contemporary America. Canelo has no traction in America. You can say what you want to say. You can say he has a million Mexican fans. Canelo doesn't live in America. And I may be giving away too much information. He's not, you don't see him at Laker games. You don't see him at Clipper games, Dodger games. Triple G has gone to more Dodger games than Canelo. He don't have to speak English. But I don't see him. I don't see him in videos walking at Venice Beach, shooting a basketball. Whether he airballs, hit the back of the backboard, he's not. He hasn't submerged himself in the American culture. I've never seen Canelo eating a hot dog. You know how powerful those pictures are when you see like your favorite athlete dribbling the basketball at the Boys and Girls Club, shooting a basketball at the most famous park in your city, going to the hometown baseball, basketball, or football game. You know how powerful those images are? I've never seen Canelo do it. Canelo is not an American. And I mean that in every sense of the word. He's not an American, right? You've never seen him donate to a Mexican kid or a Mexican family who lost a family member to gun violence or anything like that in the heart of Los Angeles or in Arizona where there's a high density population of Mexicans, New Mexico. You don't see that. And so he is not attached. When I think of Canelo, I think of a guy who lives in Mexico. He may live in San Diego. He may live in Mexico. I don't know. But I don't see Canelo as an American. He can learn English. He can learn anything he wants. He's not an American. Oscar was an American. Like, my first image of Oscar is him holding the Mexican and American flag. Like, was that 92 Olympics? Like it just is, and that image will forever be engraved. No matter how I feel about him now, when I saw that image was that Barcelona? Was that Barcelona or Atlanta? No, Floyd was Atlanta. Oscar was Barcelona. And when I saw that image, it stained my memory. It made me like, wow. I was raised in South Central LA, so half my friends was Mexican, half my friends were black. It's just the reality of going to school in South Central LA, and we all got along until 3 o'clock hit. The Mexicans went one way, the blacks went the other way. You know what I mean? Or until we got to our local park and played baseball, or basketball. That's a real spill. So, but at the end of the day, Oscar admitted to himself, and no matter how much, I wish you understand that they have failed miserably. They signed a guy who's not an American, don't speak English, doesn't even know where. He doesn't even know where the Boys and Girls Club of Hollenbeck is. He doesn't even know where the Hollenbeck Youth Center is. Man, let's take this a step further. Oscar used to train at the Hollenbeck Youth Center, right? If I'm not mistaken. He used to train at this gym where I used to play basketball there. So he never, in my humble opinion, he may have been there. I don't know if he has or hasn't. But I've never seen Canelo and Oscar at the Hollenbeck Youth Center in East LA, or Boyle Heights, excuse me. That's where Oscar grew up at, right? I've never seen him. I've never seen him walking down the street with Oscar in his old neighborhood. They're going to do this shit. I guarantee you they're going to do this shit now in the next 6 months. They're going to watch this video and do it. Anybody who want to bet me 100 push-ups, feel free. Feel free. I got to know you to bet you. I'm not going to bet no fucking name without no picture on their fucking avatar. So, but I'm just telling you, he's not an American. He's not. I don't care if you don't speak English. 10% of my friends didn't speak English that well, but he was an American. He had an American lifestyle. Like, he went to school. He played basketball. We hung out at lunch. His English wasn't perfect, but we hung out. He had an American twang to him, a little bit American swag. You don't have to speak perfect English, So at the end of the day, that's the reality of it. He's never valued. See, when a man is 28, I'm going to just keep it real with you. When a man is 28, 29, 30, and he still doesn't speak English, I don't care what nobody say. If you're an American and you spending money, if you're not native like him, you're looking at him like, so you're just going to come over here and just take our money and not even attempt to learn English? Even, I know some smart ass going to say in the comment section, uh, English ain't your language. But I'm talking about 2018, the country we live in, right? So I know everything. English is not from here. Oh, yeah, we can talk about that forever. But I'm just saying this. You haven't even take the time to learn English? Fuck you. I have no respect for you. You haven't take the time. I've never seen you eat McDonald's. Like I know McDonald's ain't great, but I'm just saying he hasn't done the American things. How can we even entrust him with our money as a whole? Not just me as an individual. I'm talking about the country as a whole. He can't even go on ESPN prime time. He can't go on no late night show. He don't speak English. He can't do a joke with whoever Jay Leno is today. I don't watch late night TV shows. I don't know their names anymore. But he can't go on ESPN at prime time and talk to Jalen Rose about the Lakers. He can't go to, I don't watch the NFL, but he can't go to the NFL network and do predictions. He can't go to Saturday morning football and talk about LSU versus Alabama. He can't talk about that because he doesn't know nothing about it. Deontay Wilder can. You understand? Whoever else, a Mexican star can. You know what I mean? That's embraced America. It's not just a black thing. I'm just talking about, but just the culture itself. They have failed miserable. They have, and you guys are going to learn this. You guys are going to figure it out, and it's a little bit too late for them. And they should have came over here and scouted better. There's no way in hell I would have released the zone with the contract they had. And I would have waited a year. I would have delayed it. I would have waited, and they failed. So, anyways, man, Oscar De La Hoya is a liar. He's proved himself to be a liar. He lied about the money that Canelo was making. He lied about the total pay-per-views, and him saying pay-per-view is dead when he just comes off a pay-per-view proves that Canelo is and was a declining superstar. All right? Because if they were great numbers, Tom Loeffler and Oscar would be working side by side, which they probably are, promoting each other, kind of like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I know they're going to do at least 600,000 pay-per-views in the next one. America's waiting for it. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and talk to you guys real soon. Peace.